Hey everyone, Shabby here and welcome back to another random match here on WWE 2K18. Now this one has been suggested by Jay over at Gaming HD, and it's a big one. It's going to be Keith Lee, Jeff Cobb, Michael Elgin, Matt Riddle, Brian Cage and Walter. Now Jay did ask for a 6-corner elimination match, but of course that's not available on this game, so there's two choices. There was either a 6-man over the top rope battle royal, which was going to be a little bit plain, or of course there was the elimination chamber. So that's what we've gone for. And starting things off here with Jeff Cobb. I do really like this core, just apart from that weird line down the left-hand side of his face. But apart from that, it's very, very good. And it has been quite effective so far in the Universe mode. Picking up quite a good few victories over some of the other guys as well. And yeah, I'm quite impressed with this Jeff Cobb. Also, on a random match last week, he's actually defeated Braun Strowman as well. So it's a very effective core, this one. And probably one of my favourites to win this match, to be honest with you. And this is the first time I'm really doing an Elimination Chamber on this game, so I don't know if it's going to work well. I'm assuming it does work well. But this is the new Elimination Chamber entrances. I've not really seen these before, so this is pretty cool. Get a chance to utilise this new stuff. I'm assuming are the entrances random, depending on... Or does everyone just go straight into the ring, I think, maybe? Yeah. No, there you go. Jeff Cobb goes into one of the pods. So I'm assuming the last two people to enter the match are going to be the two people that are going to be starting the match. As we await entrant number 2 in this match, who is going to be Keith Lee. Also a pretty cool core. A pretty cool core. Again, we'll see some good stuff from him in our Universe mode. Again, both Jeff Cobb and Keith Lee, both members of the Throwdown roster. I think a lot of this match is actually Throwdown. Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, Jeff Cobb, Michael Elgin, Brian Cage, all Throwdown. And then Walter is currently unattached, but I dare say that Walter might get picked up pretty soon. As Keith Lee enters the ring. So I'm assuming Keith Lee is also going to be put into one of the pods. I can see all these guys in this match are going to be people that... I'm very much surprised that Michael Elgin hasn't been snapped up by WWE a long time ago. And Brian Cage himself, I believe, used to wrestle in Florida or at FCW before NXT came around. And just by the looks of Brian Cage, it wouldn't surprise me if WWE be well interested in getting top of him again. Because you know what Vince is like. He's getting half a chub on just by the look of him. And talking of Brian Cage, here he is. I think this is It's a much better core than we had in 2K17, but I'm still not 100% sure. Oh, it's not bad, actually. I think his face is just a little bit out, but apart from that, I think this is a pretty good core. And Brian Cage, one of my favourite wrestlers, has been for ages, ever since I started watching PWG a few years ago. I think at that point when I was watching it as well, he was Brian Cage Taylor, I think, and he was like teaming with the likes of Chuck Taylor and so forth. And I was stunned. He was the first man that I really saw as a big man pulling off some really agile manoeuvres. I remember when I saw him do, I think it was a DDT4 tournament, and just seeing this man hit a lion salt from the top rope, I was like, oh my god, that's just incredible. And that was when I really started to dabble away from WWE and start to watch some more indie wrestling. And yeah, this man was one of the men that really caught my eye when I was watching the indie scene. And I was so glad to see that he was put onto stuff like, of course, Lucha Underground. I was... TNA made a massive mistake. But then again, I always said that about that gut check, but we don't know how that gut check worked. I'm assuming that they already had people signed, and then they brought somebody into job to the signee. So they brought in this Aiden O'Shea, whatever his name was. And then Brian Cage was always destined not to get the... But Brian Cage should have been signed by TNA, but then again, he might not wanted to. I don't blame him. But he's done really well over in Lucha Underground, and they're really showing off his top ability. And here we go, Walter is the 4th man to enter, which I think means we're going to see Matt Riddle and Michael Elgin start this match, I would imagine. So Walter is someone who's never been in our SWE Universe mode, but I feel like at some point in the near future he might get snapped up. Of course, he's been working a lot of PWG this year, and I really think that he's come out of nowhere for me, really, because I've known about him for a long time, but I've always, to be honest, I've never really watched him wrestle that much. I always just assumed he was just a slow big man and this, that and the other, but his style is actually very entertaining. It's not a high flying style, but you don't have to be a high flyer to be entertaining. He's He's very stiff in the way that he works, and yeah, I really like him actually. And I dare say we might see some stuff with him in SWE soon. No spoilers, but you know, I think he could be a very interesting addition to our roster. And Walter is going to enter one of the pods as well, which means we've got 2 more men left to enter, and they're going to be the 2 that are going to be starting the match. I quite like these new Elimination Chamber entrances because it sort of gives you a bit more of a boost into it, really. Because like the old style last year, you'd put your 6 men in, there'd be a quick loading screen, then the match would just start. And it'd take away a bit of the build-up to the matches, which is what you really want to see. I would really appreciate if WWE and Ukes and 2K, or whatever the people are made, would allow us to put these matches in different arenas, because this, for me, is... Yeah, I would love to be able to do it in different arenas. And you could do it slightly last year, I think. I think I bugged it a couple of times by doing it. And I remember we did one match where Randy Orton got like sucked through time and space. I got too close to the edge of the cage, didn't he? And for some reason he just got sucked out through one of the little cubes. Then got fired into the crowd. It was a real dodgy glitch. It really was, but Glitchamania run wild here on WWE 2K. So Michael Elgin, of course, has tagged in the past with Brian Cage as part of the Unbreakable Effing Machines. I think Elgin was working... Who was Elgin working with? Was it Elgin and Cobb this year, though, in the Tag League, World Tag League in New Japan? I think it was. Which will be quite interesting because out comes Matt Riddle, and Matt Riddle, of course, is tag team partners with Jeff Cobb around and about as well as part of the Chosen Bros. Which one of the tag teams we do have on Throwdown. And a tag team that I think we might have to utilise. Thing is, I'm using both Matt Riddle and Jeff Cobb really well as singles competitors, so I feel like there could be some good future for them, though. I think we've actually got Jeff Cobb in a match this week, I think, on our Throwdown. If I can get my paperwork. I got so much paperwork on my desk for doing this, I'll tell you. Yeah, this week on Throwdown, we're going to have... It's going to be Elgin versus Rikishi. It's going to be Ishii versus... Tomohiro Ishii versus Keith Lee. And Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig versus Jeff Cobb this week. Which is pretty cool, actually. I tell this story every single time. My favourite Matt Riddle thing was when WWE and NXT were trying to show... I can't remember who it was. It may have been... It was so they were showing some of the sign. You know, like doing some of these takeovers where they put people on in the crowd and the camera zooms in to show them. And they were doing that. It was a takeover a couple of years ago, and in the background you just saw Matt Riddle like completely off his face, like with a beer in his hand, screaming at the camera. Like, that was just so funny. I thought it was so good. But here we go. Then we're going to start things off then with Matt Riddle and Michael Elgin. Those are the 2 in the ring. And of course, I don't know how the game does it. Is it every minute or every 30 seconds? Somebody else will enter the match. And then eliminations can occur at any point in time. And of course, the last man standing will be the winner of the match. Matt Riddle and Michael Elgin starting things off. A little bit feeling out process. Big knee in the face there by Riddle. Elgin gets on the back now. Taking him up into a reverse suplex or a backdrop. A boot right in the gut now of Riddle as well. And now Elgin looking for a camel clutch. He does. Locks in the camel clutch pretty early on. I don't think it's going to quite be enough damage to get a tap out of this early position of the match. But it is going to weaken his back, which is a good thing because this match is all about resilience. It's all about holding on. It's all about outlasting. And of course, you can't win the match in the first minute or 2, but you can potentially lose it by taking too much damage. Nice capture suplex there by Matt Riddle as well. And here we go. Got 10 seconds left. And now until the next entrant into the match. Who is it going to be? Of course, it is on random, so I've got no idea who it's going to be. The lights light up, and it is going to be... It's Keith Lee. Keith Lee is the 3rd entrant into the match. This is going to be an awesome match. I can really feel this one. And Jay, when I saw you sent this over on Twitter, I was like, oh my god, I can't wait for that match. We pulled out the hat, and it did get pulled out the hat, and this is going to be an absolute stunner. And you guys always surprise me. With some of the matches you guys come out with, I'm always so incredibly surprised by the quality of some of the stuff. Because it's stuff that, obviously, I think are great matches myself, but You don't think of anything, do you? And then all of a sudden you guys come up with your ideas, and I think that's the best thing about SW. I think the SW Universe mode has got better since PJ Toby got involved as well, because he has different ideas to me. He likes to do different things to me, and you guys, or when you give me your suggestions for random matches, it is again just real cool ideas that you come forward with. And yeah, of course, remember, if you do want a random match of yours put on the channel, then please do drop it down in the comment section below. It will get added into the big hat, and if yours gets pulled out, you will get a shout out in the process. As in comes Brian Cage, the Machine. And that leaves Walter and Jeff Cobb inside the pods. Yes, of course, like I said before, this one was suggested by Jay over at Gaming HD. He has got his own channel, so you can go and check him out. I'm sure he would have commented down in the comment section below. You can probably click on his name somewhere. Keith Lee now bringing Brian Cage up into a powerbomb. Michael Elgin shoulder block on the outside, taking Matt Riddle. I remember this. They did this year, didn't they? They put bloody padding outside in the Elimination Chamber. Oh, that caused a lot of people to moan that, didn't I? I remember that now. Because they used to sell about how it's so many tons of pure steel. It'll really be taking years off people's careers. And then they changed the chamber to make it a lot less dangerous. Which I suppose is a good thing for the bodies of the wrestlers, I suppose. But at the same time, it just sort of takes away from some of the way they're building it up. As in comes Jeff Cobb, which means that Walter is going to be number 6. Lucky old Walter, eh? Matt Riddle now bringing Brian Cage up to the ring. Cage catching Riddle with the knee right in the thigh. Now Cage taking Riddle up. Oh, just launches him across the ring, showing his incredible, superior strength. And I think that's the one problem that Matt Riddle might have in this match, is that he's probably going to be outpowered by these other 5 competitors, but he does have his other aspects that they might struggle with. Riddle's going to be probably the most agile. Oh, saying that, Jeff Cobb and Keith Lee are incredibly agile, and Brian Cage incredibly agile for their size. Of course, Matt Riddle coming from an MMA background as well, so maybe submissions and strikes might be more his strong point in this match. As Brian Cage, and that strength once again. Oh, just shoulder pressing Matt Riddle. I hate shoulder press. It's my least favourite weight, that is. Nice moonsault there by Keith Lee on Brian Cage, as Walter is in the match now as well. All 6 men are in. Who's going to be the first eliminated? That's the question. And a few of these guys haven't had a lot of opportunities. I've not used Brian Cage so far in the Universe mode because I've only just found this core of him. So we'll see a bit more Brian Cage moving forward. Like I said, Elgin, Cobb and Keith Lee will all be in action this week on Throwdown. So if you're not already, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and you can check out. I think there's actually a link in the description below to the Universe mode. If not, then head over to the channel and it's the very first playlist at the top is our current Universe mode. We've also got all of our last 2 seasons as well, which are worth a watch. We did a lot of stuff. At the moment, we've got 5 brands going, all with 75, between 75 and 80 wrestlers at each brand. 2 are organised by myself, 2 organised by my friend PJ Tovey, and the 5th brand is sort of a coalition between the 2 of us. As Keith Lee now has Matt Riddle locked in a camel clutch, but Matt Riddle able to break free. As 4 of the guys out there a moment ago were all out in the steel, and here we go, Brian Cage and Michael Elgin, the tag team partners in some places, of course, mainly in the likes of PWG and so forth, are going against each other here. Maybe a little bit of one-upmanship in that tag team. Both of them trying to prove to each other that they're the best, but you would have thought maybe in this situation they might try and work together, but it's the same maybe with Cobb and Riddle as well. You would have thought they might be able to work together at some point. Michael Elgin now, nice suplex there once again by Elgin on Cage on the outside, and Elgin decides to leave the ring, and Elgin and Walter doing a little stay away from each other. Walter stiff right hand, but Elgin taking him down. Still no eliminations yet in this match. As Matt Riddle, tombstone pile driver on Keith Lee by Matt Riddle. There's the pin, 1, 2, only a 2 count. Brian Cage clubbing blows to the back of Walter. And there's a reverse suplex by Cage as Cobb taking Elgin up into a backbreaker. Keeps the grip, takes him back up for a second backbreaker as well. As Brian Cage now working over Walter. Walter with a big back elbow on Cage. Takes him up looking for a power slam, but Cage able to break free. Matt Riddle now stroke on Brian Cage. Face first into the apron, and because you've got the arms hooked, you've got no way of protecting yourself as well. Riddle down, just sending Brian Cage to the outside, which is probably the best thing for him, to be honest, because then he stays away from everyone else. He doesn't get caught up in any danger. As Matt Riddle goes to the pin here on Keith Lee. Not enough. And Walter just taking a break. Just standing there and watching everyone else fight. And that's probably a wise idea. Try and retain some of your energy. As Cage re-enters the ring. Walter sending Cobb to the outside as Brian Cage now bringing Elgin back up. Oh, Cage's finisher. I say I'm a massive fan of Brian Cage. I said that earlier, didn't I? And one of my favourite manoeuvres over the years has been the Steiner screwdriver. When Brian Cage started using the Steiner screwdriver, that was just for me, it was immense. When one of your favourite wrestlers starts using one of your favourite finisher manoeuvres. Elgin, though, with the Elgin bomb on the outside on the now padded steel. There's the pin. 1, 2, and no, it's only a 2 count. Brian Cage escapes the elimination as now Cobb taking Walter up on his shoulders. Jeff Cobb has just F5'd Walter on the outside. 1, 2, and no, Walter survives as well. None of these 6 guys want to be the first one eliminated. And of course we are giving away ranking points for these matches as well. So this is worth 30 points to the winner. So this is massive actually. This is actually pretty massive. And it's going to work out very well for me because like I said, 5 of these 6 guys are currently on my throwdown roster. As you see, nice there by Brian Cage. Locked him into the gory special, then slammed him face first into the steel. And it's Michael Elgin. Well, if that's not a rope break, I don't know what is, but well done, 2K. And it is the elimination. Michael Elgin is the first man eliminated from the match, and it is by Brian Cage, his good friend and tag team partner. Wow. So then there was 5. Was that elimination as well? I don't think it was. Oh, nice GTS there by Matt Riddle on Keith Lee. 1, 2... No, Keith Lee kicked out. It's Brian Cage. What is Brian Cage up to? Oh my god, Brian Cage. What are you doing, Cage? What are you doing from there? Oh, what a splash! Holy crap. Brian Cage, and a lot of damage to himself as well. That I've never seen the AI go that high risk before in this style of match. That's running power slam there by Keith Lee on Matt Riddle. I'm just stunned by that splash by Brian Cage. It was awesome. Still only a 2 count though by Keith Lee on Matt Riddle. As Jeff Cobb gets the 3 count and Walter is eliminated. We're down to our final 4. Brian Cage, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, and Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb creeping up behind Brian Cage, catching him with almost like an angle slam there. Keith Lee just hit Riddle with that big power bomb. And that's enough. We're down to our final 3. Keith Lee, Jeff Cobb, and Brian Cage. I'm well happy. This is a hell of a match, this one, I tell you. It has been a really good match so far already. I'm enjoying the Elimination Chamber style, but of course you can't use it that often in the Universe mode because it doesn't make sense if you use it too often. Maybe I might put it forward for our next Throwdown pay-per-view, maybe. Of course, this Throwdown pay-per-view coming up, we've got CM Punk defending the Throwdown Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. Maybe the winner of that one will have to go forward for Elimination Chamber. That'd be awesome. As Jeff Cobb showing his incredible strength with a trio of powerbombs on Brian Cage. There's the pin. 1, 2, and no, Brian Cage kicks out again. Keith Lee now taking Jeff Cobb up on his shoulders though. But Cobb able to break free. Cobb now taking Keith Lee up. And slams him down with that world's strongest slam. That could be another elimination. Cobb just needs to drop into the pin. And he does drop into the pin. 1, 2, And 3. And there we go. We're down to our final 2. Brian Cage and Jeff Cobb. And Cobb just flattens Cage straight away. But Cobb has just used his finisher maneuver. Does Brian Cage have a Steiner screwdriver in him? If he does, then Brian Cage could be victorious and get those all-important 30 ranking points. I'm tempted, you know, to maybe give points for second place in this match as well. I think I should, you know. I think I'm going to give points for second. I'm not going to give points for anyone else, but I think first and second deserve the points. Not as much, of course, Cage won't get, but maybe if I give him plus 10. Oh, massive. I'm not saying Cage is going to lose here, like, but the second place, the loser will probably get 10 points, the winner gets to 30. Oh, my God, Jeff Cobb kicks out of that big discus lariat. Does Cage have a Steiner screw? Come on, stay Cage. Hit that Steiner screwdriver. He's going to take him up. Looking for that gory special. This is how he eliminated Michael Elgin. Boom. Go on, Cage. Pin him. I'm a big fan of Jeff Cobb as well, but I'm a massive fan of Brian Cage. 1, 2, and 3, and Brian Cage has done it. He is not a man. He is a machine. And proving that right here tonight on our random match. Wow, what an awesome match that was. I really enjoyed that. Thanks for that, Jay. And of course, anyone else with any suggestions for random matches, please do drop them down in the comment section down below. Especially any more with Brian Cage would be nice. Now we've got a decent Brian Cage, I'm happy to do more. Of course, if you have enjoyed this one, then do hit the like and subscribe as well. Of course, if your match does get called out as well in the future, basically what I do is, as soon as you write them down, as soon as you put them in the comments, I go through every week or so, take them all down, put them on pieces of paper, put them into a big hat, and if yours gets pulled out, then yours is the match I will do, and of course you get a shout out in the process. So Brian Cage is victorious, 10 massive points, sorry, 30 points for Cage in the rankings, and plus 10 for Jeff Cobb as well, which could push Brian Cage into the United States Championship picture very, very soon, and maybe even the Throwdown Championship picture. So guys, like I said, that's the end of this video. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do hit the like, and of course subscribe if you're new around here as well. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon for our next WWE 2K18 random match. Bye! Bye.